Hello, dear viewer and listener, and welcome to Bergkamp Wonderland. We on Arsenal podcast. This is completely unplanned. My computer broke yesterday. Tony, the West Ham fan, who I took to the 1998 FA Cup final, came round and fixed it. The kindness of his own heart. He did threaten to kill me, though, if I didn't give him back his 2 screwdrivers. So they're on eBay, Tony, if you want them. Thank you very much for your help. With me tonight, if your name is Jason and you're in Wales, put your hand up and say hello to the lovely listeners.
Hello, listeners. How are we?
Oh,
hello.
He said he's asking how you are. I haven't asked any of them how they are. I didn't think of that. Disgusting. Gav, are you dressed?
Kinda.
Oh, see, when I've done shows where you can't see me, I'm always in a state of undress and a state of panic because I usually have the blinds down. Are you okay, Gav?
I'm very, very well, Dan. How's yourself?
I've been looking at petition.co.uk and there's one on there to stop you coming on our shows so often. But when people can't do it at 5 minutes notice, if they can't stop their lives and come and do a podcast, then it's their own bloody problem then, isn't it?
I'm on more than you these days.
You are, yeah, I know. We hadn't planned to do a podcast this week because my computer stopped working. And it turns out it got so hot, the fans were going so fast, they ripped out the hard drive and they ripped out the USB 3 leads, so none of it was working. Oh, straight away, here we go. We've got some people in. We've got Data, we've got the Saint, we've got Akash, who says, yes, it's Welsh Justice. Well, he's been on the last 2 podcasts, so 3 in a row. It's just the live shows are they're even too boring for him to be on. He's just had enough. We've all had enough. So whoever draws the short straws, Jason gives out the straws. That's why he's not on them. I think there's something going on there. Oh, he says he loves you, Jace. If only
someone
he could hear what you're saying. Jason was muted. There we go.
Jason,
right, sorry.
Where are you?
I love you too, Akash. You're a top man. Thank you. As you can see, my professionalism levels are right up there today.
Oh, dear.
It's good to see you, Akash.
Amtoft says I'm naked. Formerly Noza says good evening. So who else have we got there? Michael Hernandez, as always. I'm here, boys. At least my wife tells me to shut it off. Lovely. Oh, Archie, they're all here. Let's all take a moment to laugh at Spurs and Dyer. That will be coming up because we have very little in this podcast to talk about other than laughing at Liverpool and Spurs and hopefully Man United getting ruined by Rooney tonight. Rob has slipped straight in with a donation, Jace, of $2 Euro dues with Jace. Been a while. All right, chaps. Oh, yeah, because he's not done a live show, have we? Because we don't usually do the podcast live because Gav's been on them and he tends to get a little bit angry. I suppose the best way of putting it. It might go all strutter, smash the gaff up. That's going to be wasted on most people, isn't it, Gav?
I think it will do, mate. It's been a while, hasn't it?
You'd have to go back to the early days of ABW and we referred to Gav as strutter because he'd come in, smashing the gaff up, getting angry at stuff.
He used to be very angry, didn't he?
There was lots to be angry about. Let's be honest. There was lots to be angry about. There still is.
It's all Wenger's fault. I don't know.
No, don't trigger him with the W word. He's only said it once in all the time that he's been back doing shows.
I've banned myself from saying that, but like I say,
I'm sure yourself.
No, I'm not. He'll be referred to as the man formerly known as W.
You mean Mr. Invincible? Mr. Invincible.
He's the only one. Funny
Jace, stop winding it up, mate. It's going to be a long hour, mate. If you start on this,
Mr. Invincible. Your kid's running around. Hey, Kyan Jackson's there from Jamaica. Ed Loud's just smashed in with a donation, and he says 49 undefeated. Playing football the Arsene way.
Arsenal way, Jason.
Here you go. Akash has put, I'm going to sign in to 4 YouTube accounts to like this podcast. I've actually got 5 YouTube accounts and I could only be bothered to do it with 1. So well done, Akash. That'd be very kind of you. Here you go. All donations going to Danny's half and half Sokratis collection. That thing where there was that young bloke who he didn't look pink and standing outside the Emirates with a half and half flag. Oh, Gav's cut himself off straight away. That and thinking, that's a little bit mean. That's it. It was from the Guardian, people. The most unmean paper. The only paper I read is the Guardian, and I think he was actually from Cornwall. I don't know whether he's from Cornwall or not. Gav, don't say anything. You're back in. Don't be rude. What did you do? Go to mute yourself and cut yourself off?
Yes.
No, I didn't actually. I was flipping from the chat room back to the room so that I can mute myself when the kid decided to run in, and basically I did. Yeah.
You should do what we did to Sean once. We sellotaped to the tree out the front of my house. So much so she could lift her feet off the floor. And I got a photo of it. Maybe I should tweet a picture of it. No, so I don't say tweet out, because you can only tweet out. You can't tweet any other direction. So when people said I tweeted out, that's a waste of words. Right. So, Jace, what do you think to the title of this podcast? It is called 44 is less than 49. What a genius idea.
I think it's accurate.
Is it? Do you want to tell the listeners why, and then we might have a little laugh about it?
Well, obviously, bearing in mind now, in the new world of bin dipper wall pusherdom, obviously 44 undefeated is a bigger achievement than 49 undefeated.
Yes.
It's all a load of nonsense, isn't it? It's all a load of people trying to point score. Look, Liverpool going to the league this season. Okay, I hate it. I can't stand them. I really enjoyed watching them lose to Watford. I really enjoyed it. It was so sweet. It was so nice, especially after the Atletico game. And then to back it up and losing Chelsea, it was fantastic. They'll win the title this season. They'll deserve it. The title, the league table never, ever lies.
And don't forget, it's their first Premier League title.
Yeah, their first. When people try to belittle Arsene's achievement and our team's achievement, whether it be sort of, the people with one game or a couple of games like Rami Shaban, or do you know what I mean? It's pathetic. I had some arsehole the other day on Twitter, and it was like, this is a bigger achievement than that. And it's like, just fuck off. You're a nonce. You're a nonce. You have nothing in your life worth, with looking after. Just grow up. And that's the way I look at it. Fair play to Liverpool. They're going to deserve the title. Well done to them. I hate them. I always hate them. But, don't take away what those boys did. It was incredible. Incredible. And the only reason it was 49 was because Mike Riley had to cheat. Because it would have gone on for another 5 or 6 games, no doubt.
Easily.
Easily. And that's the thing that annoys me. If you're going to, don't belittle those guys, whether it be Arsene, whether it be the team, they were fucking magnificent. And nobody's done it since. With all the financial doping, with all the nonsense, it took Mike Riley to end that. And the most corrupt game of football I've ever seen. There you go.
Did we lose 2-0 or was it 1-0?
1-0.
1-0.
So I'm trying to
Rooney diving over Sol Campbell's leg, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Tom Tom Daly-esque, wasn't it?
Don't. He just jumped up and fell head first. He was nowhere near his leg. It was an appalling decision. Even Liverpool's VAR assistants wouldn't have given that these days.
I'm looking at it was the next season, wasn't it? 04-05, and it says we lost 2-0 to Man United in October.
I think that was. Are you sure? Is that the one? Isn't that? You get them confused. What was the one where they completely kicked shit out of us for the whole game?
That was every game.
That was the same one. That was the one. 50th game that was. Was it 1-0 or 2-0? I can't remember.
I've got a list here of every Arsenal game I've been to, and at the bottom of that is a thing of actually the chat box will know what are they saying. What have they got to say about it? While I'm looking for it, Gav, have you noticed that there's been some publications? Oh yeah, it was 2-0. I always thought it was 1-0. It's weird that.
I was so upset that day. I can't remember, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I know Rooney dived, and Gary Neville joked about it later how they were robbed because they had planned just to go out there and kick us. But Gav, have you noticed that in the media there've been Liverpool fans going, yeah, but if you add up all the 44 games with the points that Liverpool got compared to the 49 we got with all of our points, that Liverpool actually got more points, so they are actually the winners. Have you seen that one?
Oh, don't. That was actually done by someone called Talk of the Cop, right? And the funny one was he had Nottingham Forest's record, which was, I believe, 41 or 42 games. And he's counted up his points as being 82, right? Now, back then, it was 2 points for a win. So he was basically saying Nottingham Forest won every single one of those games. So the fellow was just making statistics up. It's just, like I say, if you was born and brought up in the 70s and the 80s, you'll know just how completely unbearable Liverpool supporters are when they're winning stuff. They're right completely and utterly unbearable. Yeah. And it's only going to get worse with them. It's only going to get worse. They're, they think their shit don't stink. They've never done anything wrong. They certainly haven't killed any Italians. I can't stand them. But yes, they're the best team, and the best team over a season wins the league. Yes, their manager is very, very world class. Will I congratulate them on winning the league? Would I? Fuck. I wouldn't piss. I wouldn't piss. No, you ain't going to get no congratulations. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't piss on any of them, if I'm being honest. I can't stand them. Can't stand the players, can't stand the club. The only person at Liverpool that I actually got a little bit of respect for is Klopp.
And we still like the Ox, didn't we?
No, not really.
Oh, right, fair enough. Yeah, I like Klopp. We won't go into that part of we could have had Klopp because we all know that's ancient history. Yeah, but Klopp's a nice bloke. But yeah, I'm just looking at the game here. Rooney dived for a penalty, 73rd minute. Van Nistelrooy scored it, and then Wayne Rooney scored a 90th minute goal. I don't even remember that 90th minute goal.
Yeah, I think it was all sulking by then.
Yeah, probably. But I'm just looking at our run in the Premier League. After that, we played Southampton 2-2, then Crystal Palace 1-1. Then we beat Spurs 5-4 at their place. Then West Brom 1-1. Then we lost 2-1 at home to Liverpool. And so, like you're saying, Jace, we would have, we did. We drew Southampton Palace and beat Spurs. And then so it'd been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that'd have been 54 games.
Mm. I'm going to be honest with you. We'd have gone on. I think we'd have beaten Liverpool. Look, it's hindsight, isn't it? We can't know for sure. But United was the one. That was all. It was always that killer fixture at the time. It's a question there from Mike Hernandez, and he says, "Is hating Liverpool a generational thing? Ever since I watched football, early 90s, they haven't been really relevant. I have more hatred for United, to be honest." Well, Mike, yeah, it is generational.
Yeah.
Basically, going up,
everybody that went to school in the... I left school in 87, I think, 87, 88. Anyway, but so throughout all my school life, Liverpool were winning everything. They were winning the league, they were winning cups, they were doing well in Europe, and everybody whose parents and family didn't support a specific football team supported Liverpool. So literally a third of my school, which was in London, was Liverpool supporters. So, we got stick all the time. And like I say, all my Arsenal pals at school, which, there was about 12 of us, but we all went games. We'd all meet up and we'd all get on the train and we'd all go and watch the games. Much the same for the West Ham and the Tottenham lads that we used to knock about at school. But Liverpool supporters, they hadn't been anywhere near bloody Liverpool, anywhere near a football ground. So when Charlie fucked Rush's record up in 1987, that following Monday at school, no lie, we had the scarves and the hats, and we're singing Arsenal songs up and down the corridors at school, taking a piss out of the Liverpool supporters. It classes as probably the only decent day I ever had at school. I'll be honest with you.
Is it the only day you were at school?
Huh?
Is it the only day you were at school?
Yeah, that's why.
In my last year at school, I turned up for. I remember I turned up for a chemistry lesson on a Friday, and the teacher looked at me and said, "What are you doing here?" I went, "I'm supposed to be here." He said, "Well, you don't normally turn up." I went, "Yeah, no, I know. It's Friday afternoon." And he went, "Well," he said, "if you're going to fuck about," and this is when teachers didn't swear, but he looked at me and went, "If you're just here to fuck about," he said, "just go home now." And I went, "All right then," and walked out.
It's one of those, I remember being at school, because Liverpool win all the time. Half of them are Liverpool fans. then sort of majority of the rest are all United fans, and that goes back to the Munich air disaster. Do you know what I mean? There was so much sympathy for the club. United have always had that massive fan base, but Liverpool had it because they were winning. And, it's funny, right? A mate of mine was at uni in Liverpool, and so we'd go up to see him, and we'd go to watch Liverpool. And it was, you'd be there, and there's always some twat behind you. Liverpool, greatest team in Europe. It's like, oh, fuck off, you wanker. And all that nonsense about the cop. Yeah, whatever. It's no different to anywhere else, okay? And trust me, I've stood there, and not once or twice, 4 or 5 times. And I'm in work the other day, and there's 3 Scousers in work. And they're all, oh, yeah, we're going to win the title. So, boys, you go up to the games? Oh, no. Have you ever been up there? No. None of them had ever been to Anfield. And it's like, so I'm a Gooner, and I've stood on the cop more than you 3 combined. Yeah.
Guess how many Man United supporters we had in my year at school?
Oh, I don't know. I dread to think.
Not many.
1.
Really?
And the only reason he was a Man United supporter is when he was 11, his family moved from Manchester to London, so we couldn't actually understand what he said for the first couple of years, right? But we had 1 Man United supporter in our year at school. But like I say, there's probably out of, I would say, let me work it out, probably out of like 50, 60 boys in my year at school, probably about 25, 30 were Liverpool supporters who had never been to a game of football. Most of them had 2 of Nigel Winterburn's right feet when it comes to playing the game as well.
Here's the thing, though, because
it's one of those like when I grew up, me and all my mates, we played rugby. We didn't go to watch football until you were sort of later on in life. You were injured or there was a week off from the game. You didn't go to watch football. And when you went to watch, I remember the first time standing on the North Bank. I must have been 17, and it's me and 3 of my mates, and it's a different world, small town in West Wales. You're up in North London, and all of a sudden you're talking to all sorts of people. You're just enjoying life. Just chatting to anyone and everyone and enjoying the game.
Chase, here's the thing. Just on that point, right?
Yeah.
Did you ever get any stick for being Welsh?
No, none. I got you turned around.
You get any
prosecution in rest these cases.
Sorry?
Did anyone give you any stick for being French or any other language that they thought you might?
No. It's quite funny. It's the first time I was on there. I stood there. I was stood next to a couple of guys, and obviously West Wales was very, very white at the time. Okay, there was one person of colour in my town. Okay, and there's the Chinese. The Indian, the Indian was there as well. So you had 3 groups of people, maybe, who were of a different colour or creed to you. Okay, and nobody really gives a shit. Do you know what I mean? Nobody really cares because you just don't, do you? But you stood on the North Bank, and I was talking to a couple of lads, and they're different colour than me and what have you. And from around here, you? I said, no. How'd you guess? This guy just looks at me and laughs. Said, "Oh, you're a funny fucker." Yeah, But it was really welcoming. It was, and that was the thing I always found. And a couple of the boys who went up with me that day, they were Liverpool fans, funny enough, and they openly said they were Liverpool fans, and they had no grief whatsoever. And funny enough, we went up to watch the Swans game when OG was over. I was outside. We were all having lunch at the chicken place on Holloway Road. One of the chicken places on Holloway Road, sorry. I was out having a cigarette, and these guys were parking up, and so just give them a couple of directions to help them park. And, cheers, mate. Yeah, no problem, lads. Are you a Swansea fan? No. I just looked at you and laughed, and thanks anyway, ta-da. And that's how I've always found it up there. So, it's good. It's good.
I'm just looking at the league table for the last time Liverpool won the league, which was 1989-90. Runners up in the league that season, Aston Villa, who have spent the last few seasons in the Championship. Wimbledon finished 8th, who have since then gone bankrupt, split into 2 clubs and are now in the 3rd and 4th tier of English football. Forest 9th. They've spent a lot of time in the second and third tiers. Coventry, I think, riding high in the third tier of English football. Man United finished 13th. Man City finished 14th. Luton 17th, just avoided relegation by 2 goal difference. They spent about 4 seasons in the conference. And bottom of the league, Millwall, Charlton, Sheffield Wednesday. And top goal scorer that season, who do you reckon?
No, hold on, what year? 89, 90?
Yeah.
Hold on. No, Clive Allen would have been a couple of years before that.
He scored.
Where did Everton finish?
Was it? It was Lineker, was it?
Everton finished 6th.
Wasn't Lineker then, was it?
Lineker's gone.
Yeah.
Then,
No, it's Lineker.
Was it Lineker?
Yeah, but for Spurs. 24 goals for Spurs. As Spurs finished 3rd in the league.
Oh,
Lord. Yeah, so, and then you look down some of the other leagues. Cardiff just got relegated to the 4th division. Jace, sad times.
Yeah.
And
horrific.
And let's go through what we should go through. We should go through what wasn't about in 1990.
Yeah, well, how old are you?
Like broadband.
Yeah, mobile phones.
Hold on. We think there was mobile phones then. I had a mobile phone I had my first mobile phone in 1991, so a year after.
There you go. So when the season finished, I was 19. I'm younger than my child is now. Oh dear.
It's flown by you.
I was still living at home. Right, question here from Marley Moe. Arteta has said he's going to be ruthless, but it seems like he's playing his old friends in Ozil and David Luiz, where they always make mistakes and go missing in important times. Well, I'm not sure about the David Luiz one. I think he's been brilliant of late, hasn't he? Even Ozil's upped his game, wouldn't you say?
I do have issues with Ozil. I got to be honest. You look at the Olympiacos game. You know that first goal. He's not even looking, and he's supposed to be the guy. He doesn't need to take the runner out, but he's got to get in his way. So I do have issues with Ozil. If you're going to be 10, you've got to be creating or scoring. You've just got to be. I get the efforts there. You know, I'm not taking that away from him, but you do need end product. You know, I look at Eddie Nketiah. I thought he was poor for most of the game against Portsmouth, but when it mattered, he finished and he scored. And I think Ozil's got to start contributing on the scoreboard, and so, a lot more than he is at the moment. As for David Luiz, I think he's been superb.
Gav, you got any thoughts on that while I'm going through all the messages here that some are getting a little bit blue, a bit of blue for dads?
That's all right. No, I actually kind of liking David Luiz at the moment. I'm still not convinced he's the ideal player to play in a centre back partnering of 2. But the way we're sort of lining up at the moment, where we've got Xhaka sort of covering when the wing backs are going forward. Sometimes when we're attacking, we more or less are dropping back into a 3 at the back where he's ideal for it. With regards to Ozil, I hope he goes out at the end of the season and he goes out on a little bit of a high. That's what I'd like. I'd like him to go out on a bit of a high this year and then hopefully get somebody else to take him off our wages, because he's not the future. He's being there as a senior player. I think he's almost holding people back now.
Is he going to get 350 grand a week anywhere else? If not, he's staying for another year.
I think that a deal's there's going to be a deal to be made somewhere, because of the length of time there is on his contract. At the end of this season, it will probably be cheaper for us to pay him half of the money off, and then for him to go somewhere somewhere like Galatasaray, somewhere in Turkey for
if he goes
150.
back to Turkey, they can buy his image, because we own his. Arsenal own his image rights, which is why he got such a massive pay increase. And if he goes if he goes to Turkey, where his ancestors come from, he is going to be huge there. And the amount of money they'll make from image rights there, you could well be right.
He's huge everywhere anyway, isn't he?
Oh,
as much as the performances are.
Apart from North London.
Yeah, I mean, in Turkey, let's be honest, they're anything that he puts out merchandise-wise, they'll have it out for like $5 or €5.
I mean, they've got a match
about a day afterwards. Turkey's very, very good at producing counterfeit goods. But like I say, has he got? I believe I'm right in saying he's got 2 years contract left. 2 years left at the end of this season. Yeah.
No, at the end of this, he's got one.
He's got the end of this year. He's got one. So
yeah, I'm sure that's what I read.
What's that? Let's work that out. 1.4 million a month. We're probably paying him about 15. We're probably paying him about 15 million quid a year in wages. If we offered him 10 million to bugger off, and somebody else paid his wages of 5 million, he's earning the same money, isn't he?
I don't see him going. I just don't see him going. I think it's, unless he goes to the US, I just don't see it. And you look at it. The big issue is we all have.
He ain't going to be going China, is he?
No, he's not. But the big issue we have at the moment is we all have our own perspective on the club, on how we should play football, how we should move forward, and that view. I listen to other podcasts, and people whose opinions I share a lot of the time. You hear one statement and you think, "Whoa, we are so far, we're worlds apart on this one." But I kind of look at it and I just kind of think, I don't think this summer is going to be massive for us. I think there'll be one or two cheeky good signings coming in, fingers crossed. I think we'll stick with a lot of what we've got. I think that midfield area is key. And if you can bring the right personnel in there, I think it solves a lot of our problems all over the pitch. Our lack of mobility and getting up and down at the moment is massive. Okay, and it's hurting us a hell of a lot.
I mean, on that, Jace, I mean, this is like, again, another alternative view. If we do keep Ozil for next year, we've got Willock that's learning the game. Obviously, needs to fill out a little bit. We've got Smith Rowe pulling up trees at Huddersfield.
Oh, come on. It's Huddersfield.
I know it's Huddersfield. I know it's a division down. But when you're getting man of the matches every game and 2 assists and stuff like that, then...
with a team at the bottom of the league as well.
Yeah, so I mean, you can't, I mean, like I say, it's.
My
point is, based on the back of what you said, is do we cash in on Ozil and then bring in a number 10 who's 24, 25, or do we try and buy Ceballos and play him there, or do we keep Ozil and see what happens with Smith Rowe and Willock? Because at some point, a decision's got to be made on Willock and Smith Rowe, hasn't it?
I don't think it has to be yet. Look, if I'm the man,
no, not yet. But if not next year, the year after.
It will have to be. Look, but I look at Willock this season. You've seen some fantastic football off him. Okay, you've seen some really lovely stuff from him, and it's been a pleasure to watch. And then you've seen him struggle at times. And it's natural at his age, okay? It's
a hard position, number 10, Jace. Let's be honest. It's a very hard position to play.
Well, he's more of an 8, isn't he? He's more of an 8. And when you see him driving forward the ball, he can be magnificent. I think Willock needs a good loan, okay? I think that boy needs to get out there, a decent club, maybe Bundesliga, maybe even France, okay? But
Like who? Wouldn't you think someone, for instance, like Derby, for instance? Do you think they'd do well in someone like Derby?
I'm not. To be honest, I look at the Championship. I'm not really sure that may be the place for him to thrive. I think maybe Bundesliga. I think Liga 1, maybe a team that plays football. And there's more people that know about European football than I do. Your Johns, your Joshes, they're the people to ask. But I think we'll get a bit of life experience, get out there. You've got to develop ESR. I mean, whenever I've seen him play this season, he's been way off the pace. Okay, I think that lad may need another loan. Okay, I know he went out to Leipzig, but he's injured a lot there. he needs games under his belt. So the Huddersfield thing is great, but then I'd be looking to loan him out again. You know, I don't think he's quite ready yet. Okay, you know, you're seeing.
I agree, but there comes a point when these young players are getting to the sort of 21, 22.
Oh yeah, but PSR is only.
It's got to be give him a chance or get rid.
But Gav, the big issue here now is this, okay, you know? ESR was the 18, right? Okay, he needs game time, and his injury issues have held him back. So let's loan him out. Let's give him minutes. The midfield area, you've got Guendouzi in there, okay? You've got Nelson, Martinelli, sorry, Saka, out wide as well. You can't bring through two youngsters in that midfield area at the same time. It's too difficult, okay? Midfield is a battleground of the Premier League. And when you don't have enough experience in there, or, you know, the minutes under your belt, you're going to get pummeled because there's too much knowledge around, you know, you look at Henderson, Fabinho, etc., okay? Okay, they're not the most talented, so to speak, but they know their jobs inside out, and there's a lot of nous there.
So again, like I say, I'll revert back to, would keeping Ozil for another season help them learn that trade under him, or would it sort of hinder one of them for having a breakthrough season?
Oh, that's the $1 million question, to be honest.
Yeah, I think you would do. Logically, you would do. But is that a position in football where people you do it anymore? Because most teams have moved on from the 10, haven't they? You've got to be more adaptable than just a 10. You need as we had a Ramsey who was everything, which is the future of that 10 position. The attacking, the creating, the going back and doing stuff.
But he can also do the defensive work, yeah.
Yeah, that's the future. So
the problem you got, boys, is this, okay? You're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. You know, if you look at the midfield at the moment, for argument's sake, you see Guendouzi's got X amount of minutes under his belt. He's not my favourite player, okay? I struggle to see what he's going to bring you going forward, okay? I may be totally wrong. But, you know, they're going to have to hitch their wagon onto one of the horses sooner or later. Okay, and which one, that's going to be down to Arteta. But in the meantime, okay, so even if you are going to let players go, if they've had a good loan somewhere, let's increase that value. You know?
Yeah, no, certainly. So here's another question then, on the back of, again, I'm just piggybacking on what you say here, and I'll ask that question to you and Dan, if that's all right. Do you trust Arteta to get it right with these youngsters?
Yes.
One word, Jace. One word. One word. Come on, son.
Yeah. But this is the thing, isn't it? You know, we've chosen Arteta now, okay? I see a lot of growth and development in this team. From, you know, he only took over at Christmas. He's been there 2 months, really. Right? And people are having a go already. He's learning the job as he goes along. He's been a manager for 2 months. You know, he's got a good team around him. I expect fresh people to come in again in the summer to that team, right? And I expect we'll see him develop his style of play as well. You know, if you look at sort of the decisions he's got to make, there'll be people unhappy and there'll be people happy. Do you know what I mean? He's going to anger some and he's going to make some over the moon. I look at the current crop of players at the moment. I see Martinelli as a centre forward. Okay, that's it. Not on the left, centre forward. Pepe, I see the talent, but I see a whole host of crap that goes with him. Which
that's yeah. I mean, going on to Pepe and that position, Arteta clearly loves Reece Reece, doesn't he? Clearly loves him.
Yeah, but look. It doesn't matter who he loves and who he may think he can get more out of, okay? You know? The big thing for us at the moment, we are going to need a squad. You know, you can't just, Pepe's useless, let's just go with Nelson. That doesn't work like that. Nelson picks up an injury, he's stuffed, okay? We've invested 77 million quid in Pepe. So regardless of our thoughts on him, and he frustrates me, there's some really nice stats he brings to the table. You can see the potential, but we need to be developing everyone. Do you know what I mean? Saka, Saka. Sorry, I lost my mind. But you know, it's a real juggling act. He's got to give every minute, and he's got to get a tune out of all of them. So it's regardless of who you look at Nelson. The glimpses we saw of Nelson against Portsmouth. That's what we've been waiting to see. But he struggled this season up to now. But again, I think it depends who we bring in that midfield. If we bring in the right players in the midfield, it'll help all these guys flourish, and that's the really big area. Let's not look at centre backs. Yeah, blah blah blah. I don't care. Your midfield is going to be key in the summer, and if you get that right, then you'll see a lot more players thrive.
Yeah, no, I agree. Unless we're replacing players that are sold, I just want to see the money spent on the midfield this summer. And I agree with Loki 73 in the chat. Look, Pepe will come good. I'm not saying he's going to. He's not going to be an Overmars or a Merson, or I don't think he's going to be pulling up trees and winning awards. But as you said, Jace, his stats are starting to look quite good, especially when you're comparing him to other players in his position.
It's the one thing, man. He's so bloody frustrating, isn't he? You saw that on Olympiacos game, and you saw the kickbacks around you, and you're thinking, are you a fucking child? Get the ball in the danger zone. Let's flood the box of people and get people attacking space and play the ball into the space. And I thought his Olympiacos display was shite. It was the worst bag of shit I've seen from from any type of player in a long time. It was awful. Pepe stunk the ground out, but he wasn't alone. Ozil stunk the ground out. The majority, Auba, everybody, Auba, great goal. The miss later on was really unfortunate. Lacazette, awful. Ceballos and Xhaka, crap. Okay? But, they can't all have a bad day like that. They've got to take responsibility. And unfortunate as it is, yes, I know, look, Pepe, it's not his fault we paid 77 million quid for him. It's not. But grow up and play adult football. You're not in the school ground anymore. You can't be nonsense about.
Here's one for you. The Olympiacos game we played, that was probably one of the oldest average ages for our team under Arteta so far. He played all the senior players.
Yeah.
I mean, Eddie wasn't even on the bench, was he? So, and like I say, I have been, for anybody who can remember the early podcasts where me, Dan, and God bless him, Mr. Stevie Hillwood, used to debate about the amount of youth players coming through. I do now keep a track of it. And like I say, the Chelsea game the other night where that young Scottish lad had a good game, apparently. I only saw the last 20 minutes. And all the press were over this breakthrough Chelsea player, another. But against Portsmouth, we started 5 academy players. And we had another one on the bench who got on the pitch. Well, we didn't get on the pitch, but we're not getting enough credit for the youth players that we're bringing through at the moment. We're really not.
Yeah, but Gav, who cares? Who cares what credit we get? Okay, that's all that's important.
No, not just the. I mean, I'm not even talking just the press. I'm talking about other Arsenal supporters. There's no real credit for the fact that this is we've got a group of 5 or 6 kids coming through at the moment, who 3 or 4 of them could make careers at us for the next 10 years. We've also got another 3 or 4 kids who are behind them, and I'm not talking about Smith Rowe. There's John Jules, there's Bellerin,
all those.
Like I say. So I mean, the turnaround in the youth department at Arsenal has really improved over the last 3 or 4 years. Really improved.
It's because they've stopped going around Europe hoovering up all these young talents who get homesick. Donald Mallon magnificent Dutch striker. Come to us, brilliant, got homesick, went home. They either get homesick and go home, or they lose they go, my God, back home I'd be getting a couple of £100 a week. Here I'm getting £2,000-3,000 a week once you reach the higher levels of the youths. And they've gone from having you go back and have a look 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, no, 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago, they'd be from all over the world. Now they're nearly all English and with a couple of Irish, Welsh and Scottish players. That's the entire squad. That's how they've gone about doing it, and that has made such a difference because not only is everybody from the area, they've grown up with it, they're more likely to want to stay in this country when they come good. I mean, we have seen a couple of players recently go. Personally, if I was a footballer, I'd go and play all around the world. I wouldn't want to spend my entire career in the Premier League or in England. But all these players, Saka isn't going to be looking for a move to Real Madrid anytime soon, is he? But if it was a young Spanish kid, you'd be going, like, we've got João Lopez coming through, really, really promising left back. And, as soon as he gets good, other teams are going to start sniffing around him. And we're ahead of I don't know if it's a saying, we're ahead of the curve at the moment because now the Brexit stuff has happened. We can't go to La Masia and steal their young players. I mean, I think they've changed the rules on that anyway. But we will no longer be allowed to go and steal young players from other academies and bring them over here. That's not going to happen anymore. So it looks like we planned for this 2, 3, 4 years ago. And now you look through our academies, are all English-born players, most of them, which is brilliant to see.
It was the thing. It was a. It's not a fluke, Dan. I mean, it was planned. It was a planned effort. Look, getting through, European and Portuguese / Spanish players wasn't working.
I mean, the number of French kids we had that ended up just doing nothing and ended up leaving. Like they had that young Portuguese bloke left us because he thought he was too good for Arsenal. Now he's playing in the third tier of Portuguese football.
I've got to correct myself. Sorry, over the last podcast about Willock. Willock started training at Arsenal aged 3.5. It was 3.5. Basic. I mean, I think I said on the last show, the last live show, look, he'd been with us since he was about age 5, but it wasn't. He was 3.5.
Well, he's seen with his two brothers. One of them left because he wanted to go and play for Man United, and then Man United have let him go, and then he's now playing. He belongs to Gillingham, and the other one went off to play for
He's at Huddersfield now, isn't he?
Oh yeah, he's at Huddersfield with Smith Rowe, and the other one went off to Benfica. Now they've loaned him out to West. Oh, was it this one? His other brother who was at West Brom on loan has now gone to Huddersfield on loan.
Yeah,
one Huddersfield on loan, one at Gillingham, and then he got Willock the younger. They've been magnificent for Arsenal, doing what they could have been if they'd have stayed. And
imagine that. Imagine that though. My 4-year-old.
Has he got trials?
Well, don't, mate. He'll be on trial soon. But no, I mean, I can't even get him to sit down properly. I can't even get him to sit down and sit still, let alone do any football training or anything. I mean, we're going to start taking him in a couple of months once it gets once the weather gets better and once young ladies' dancing exam finishes. He's going to start playing on the local pitch every Saturday morning, which I'm looking forward to.
Older brothers, didn't he? So he probably wanted to copy what they were doing, which is probably why they took him along. And I doubt very much at 3.5 you're doing the finer arts of football, are you? And
no, he was obviously taken along with his two brothers. But like I say, to be going training sessions at Arsenal age 3.5, that's
Well, I'll be just as happy if you're from Republic of Ireland, Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales, London, any of those lot. I'd love to see our team full of British players and Republic of Ireland players, like it used to be. I mean, there we go, going on back to good old days.
Here we go.
Oh, hey, you won't shut. Have you got young Robbie Burton coming through? How long before
he's gone? He's gone.
No.
But then you look at it again.
To Poland, Hungary, Croatia. Croatia.
But you look at Hector. Hector's an academy, product, and nobody represents the Arsenal better than Hector.
Yeah,
nobody.
One of the few.
No, not one of the few. There's been plenty.
I mean, one of the few that's worked and stayed.
But this is the thing. You see with academies, you see it quite often. Okay, there's fits and starts. There's cycles in academies. When Brady was in charge of the academy, at the end, it was a shit show. We had one of the most damning reports on the academy ever when they did an inspection on it. We had the boy who went to Wolfsburg who came in. Freddie was with him. Now we seem to have a bit of continuity there. Freddie did well coaching there. It looks like Steve Bowles doing well coaching there. And we get a good crop through. Now,
Mertesacker's getting a glowing report from people I speak to.
But he's a highly intelligent guy, isn't he? This guy is. He's
Mertesacker. Oh God, yeah. No, he's. He's getting a glowing report on how he's running the academy, the training that's put in place, how he's dealing with the coaches. Everybody loves him. Oh, Dan, by the way, before we go back to Jace, you got called a boomer in the chat room. that would make you about 70.
Jesus.
Yeah, not sure what that one refers to. I always thought millennials were people born on the millennium. Apparently it's not. It's about you were a teenager during the millennium or something like that. And no, it does matter because data's saying that if you're good enough, you'll get a work permit. No, you'll get a work permit if you've played enough international games, or you're in a country like Belgium where you only need to be playing having lived in Europe for 3 years.
They haven't done the new rules yet, have they? They haven't said.
I mean, for the past lot, Belgium was one of the easiest places to get a work permit.
Well, look, there's certain cultural ties in different parts of the world, isn't there? It's like Brazil and Portugal. Let's wait and see. We can't comment on that. But the one thing, if you want to look at people who've represented the club with honour, you look at Mertesacker, magnificent. You know what I mean? Had loads of stick. Oh, he's this, he's that, he's whatever. Just kept on going. And yes, okay, he wasn't our greatest ever centre-back. That's fine. But, Oh,
here you go. Michael's got my point exactly. Don't think they're arguing that nationality makes them good or bad, which it doesn't. I think the conversation is maybe Fabregas would have stayed if he was English. That's exactly my point, Michael. Thanks. Yeah, but as usual. And I wasn't being a tit, Jace. I was thinking of what country he'd gone to, and it was a couple of our players have gone. Okay. He's gone to Croatia's Dynamo Zagreb.
Yeah,
we have got a young Welshman though in midfield there, haven't we? Another Welshman coming through, but like Zek Medley, he played the other night, 2 goals from centre back as we beat.
I'd really like him to do well. I'd really like him to succeed. To be fair,
he should have had more first team opportunities than he did have. I think by going out to Croatia, I mean, Croatia is a stunning place. Sean went there in the summer, and I've got a couple of friends who live in Croatia. I mean, in the summer it's beautiful. In the winter it's horrendous because it's cold. But can't say blame him. It's good to see young British players going out and getting experience, and loads have gone to Germany, and now they're going out all over us. Because I remember back in the day, you would get hardly any. You think Gary Lineker was probably one of the few ones that actually went out anywhere. He had a couple like Ian Rushford come back the same day.
I remember being in school when we were kids, okay, and somebody said, "Oh, who's the greatest ever British player to play abroad?" Well, I think no idea.
That Man United one at Juventus, wasn't it?
Well, we looked at Dennis Law, Jimmy Greaves, and of course John Charles.
That's it. That's the one.
There's not many. You have to be of a real caliber, didn't you, back in the day? But I don't know. It's look. These kids are going to find their own way to develop their game. How they do that, I don't know. How they see it as best for them. You've got agents involved now. The world's a far more connected place than it was when we were young. These kids, they've got a different outlook on life than we've got. So
I think this current crop have got a bit. They seem like they've got a better attitude. Because I mean, we've had crops of youngsters coming through in the past.
There's that one. Was it Connor Henderson said he's only at Arsenal for the money? He had no interest in football. That was a quote of one of those young players.
You get a few like that. Do you know what I mean?
You David Bentley, who didn't like football, didn't you?
He said he did the honourable thing. He said I was offered a new contract. I think Blackburn offered him a contract to go back there, and he said I don't want to play football anymore. I could have gone there and taken the money, but I didn't. A couple of things before we move on. Peter Ackers, thank you very much, has given us a couple of quid. Says please buy the guy down the bottom an avatar. Sadly, Peter, you can only put an avatar on if you are on a PC. So might get Gav to log in on his PC, change his avatar so the next time that he's on, he'll have one. But you can't actually do it on your phone, which is what Gav is on. And then Data says, Fabregas would have stayed if Arsenal would have offered more money than Barca. Do we believe that? I don't believe that for a second. He wanted to go. He was promised things at Barcelona. He was going to go back there, be the new Messiah, and he turned up there. And
he was always going to go back to Barcelona. Yep. Anybody who thought he was going to spend his career at ours is deluded. He was always at some point going to go back to Barcelona.
At some point, yes, but you look at where Barca were at that time, and the football they were playing was phenomenal. You know,
Fabregas was phenomenal at the time.
Not being funny. He broke my heart when he left. He broke my heart. You know,
the way that he did it, Chase.
When they put that fucking shirt in him, at that point, okay,
and the Spanish
somebody should have taken it back to him. For him to even leave them, put that on him, was disrespectful to the club and the fans. Somebody should have knocked that fucker out. It was a banger of order, that was. And the way he left, going on strike, feigning injury. You know, I loved Fabregas when he was playing for us.
I'm very sure with hindsight, even though he did win a league title with Chelsea, I think in hindsight he regrets it. I would say if he was being honest, I think with hindsight he will regret that decision. He has regretted that decision.
We all make mistakes, don't we? And the amount of pressure he must have been under must have been phenomenal. But as a fan, you stood there and you're just thinking, I have loved you. I've loved watching you play. And
I still like him.
Look, he's not a bad guy, is he? You know, and we all get a bit over emotional about football. You know, we all say silly things. Like he's done a silly thing there. I'll say silly things about it. You know, he represented the club properly. And, you know, he gave it his all on the pitch when he played for us. You can't ask any more than that, can you? You know, you just can't. But, you know, it's one of those things. You know,
Data's not letting this go. She says,
there's a surprise. There's a surprise.
Makes for an interesting show. Him going back was contingent on, firstly, how much money he was going to make. You are all beyond naive. No.
Right, let's give him the last word. Let's move on.
Okay. Right. Someone else. Akash says, Kos also pissed me off. I think we might be seeing more of why Kos actually left the whole thing with Emery and things not going right. So, yeah, there's more to that to come out. Yeah, Michael Hernandez for you, Jace. Thoughts on the Ashley Maitland-Niles attitude thing? Because Arteta's recently come out and said that he needs to sort his attitude out, doesn't he? And was it true that they banned his mum from the training ground again or something like that?
I don't know about that. Okay, look.
Not recently, but it happened when he was in the youth team. She kicked up and got banned.
Didn't she hit Dick Law?
Someone should have.
She had a go when he was on loan at Ipswich. She had a go at a voice message from Mick McCarthy, you don't want to fuck off, saying that it was well out of order, that he wasn't being played enough.
Yeah, but look, let's look at the Maitland-Niles thing. Okay, that's an exciting young player. Okay. Won a World Cup at age grade level, some good loan spells at Ipswich and around the place. A mum who, probably got a bit too involved in everything, and there was the issue with it was all in the papers about him cutting his mum off, and it all got deeply unpleasant. But look at him as a human being; he's very laid back, he's very relaxed. Probably needs to be a bit more at it. I think he's a bit like Ozil in the respect of he has issues in channeling exactly how he feels and expressing it. I think when you're that relaxed, he's sometimes you want to shake people, don't you?
Yeah, that's something you were mentioning. April 2015 from the Telegraph. Arsenal have banned the mother of one of their most promising young players from the club after she appeared to hit Arsene Wenger's chief negotiator, Dick Law, and allegedly threatened to drag her son off the pitch in an under-21s game. Police were called to Arsenal's London ground.
She did hit him, yeah. I mean, it's this thing, okay, where that's a hell of a lot to deal with for any young guy.
Let's be honest. He must have been embarrassed as fuck when that happened.
Can you imagine?
Do you know what I mean? Imagine trying to play football and your mum's fucking punching the fella that sorts out your wages. Do you know what I mean? You'd be thinking, Mum, what you fucking do? Oh, don't. Go on.
It's part and parcel of that growing up stage for him. He's there now, okay, you know. He's obviously got an issue playing right back. He wants to have a go at midfield. I think he deserves a go at midfield. I've got to be honest there.
Yeah, he has definitely worked hard and deserves it.
Yeah, when you see some of the draw sweeper out there. But again, you know, Arteta's been there 2 months. You know, he has to trust Arteta and he has to buy into the long-term plan and earn the right with Arteta now. So I don't find it worrying. If you look at the Ceballos thing, Arteta's not the kind of guy who's going to cut his nose off to spite his face. I think he'll just want to see certain things from AMN, and if AMN buys into it, then he'll give him a go. The big thing is, you know, is he going to buy into it, or is he going to want to force a move?
Well, here's the quote. Do you want the quote?
Yeah.
This is from the Daily Mirror. Speaking after Arsenal's win over League One side Portsmouth, Arteta was asked about Maitland-Niles' absence, to which Arteta declared, Ainsley needs to put his head down and work hard. Show me every day in training that he wants it more than anyone else. He wants to play for this club and fight for his place. Well, I'd say over the last few years, he has. He is... No?
He can't be. No, because
well, from what I've seen, I think
you've got to look at the facts of it all, and Arteta is giving every single young player a chance.
As we've seen with Eddie.
Yes, he's giving everyone a chance. So he's saying, you know, he put Eddie in, and he said Eddie's playing because he shows me in training every day.
Yeah,
he puts Saka in because he says. It's not his natural position, but he's learning, he's trying it hard, and he's showing me every day. Right? Willock must be showing it to him every day. Now, Maitland-Niles, if he was putting that much effort in as the others, he'd be getting minutes as well. Because let's be honest, Bellerin, he ain't 100%. This Bellerin is not the player he was before his injury. Now, I'm not an expert in ACLs and all that, but
he's still in recovery.
From what I've read, it's you've still got once you're fully fit, you've still got a 6 months till you're going to be, you know, bang back to normal. It could take him a year to be up to speed of how he was previous. So he's got the chance to get minutes. He clearly isn't showing and isn't giving Arteta the feeling that he wants to play even at right back. I mean, if I was a young player at Arsenal, fuck me, put me in goal. Do you know what I mean? Play me anywhere. I would just be wanting to get on the pitch and wanting to get minutes.
Yeah,
and that's the attitude the rest of them have, which obviously he isn't showing.
But I think that, again, you know, you look at AMN, it's slightly different for him. It's been going on for longer. I agree with you. He just needs to knuckle down and get on with it, okay? Whatever Arteta wants him to do, he's just going to buy in now because I think he's got the talent, right? He's got the talent to be able to do it. He's got pace. You know, he's great on the ball. He works hard. I think, he just needs to manage the situation correctly. We don't know what's going on off the park. Is there an agent in his ear? What are the peripherals that we can't see? But
he's not a young player. He's not a young, he's not a young player. I think he's 23, 24, something like that. 22. And as people have 22, and as what people are intimating in the chat box as well, with Torreira out for the rest of the season, there is a free space in midfield.
I absolutely. And look, I'd like to see.
It's his time now. If he wants it, Jace, he's got to go out and take it, mate. He ain't going to be given it. He's got to turn up for work every morning, what they call work, right? And he's got to give it more. He's got to be puking as he comes off the training ground every day. He's got to be sprinting harder than anybody else. He's got to be tackling harder. He's got to be making his passes crisper. He's got to be winning the sprints. He's just got to show it now because there's a chance for him not only to play right back, but also to get minutes in the central midfield.
I agree. I agree with you. Okay, I look at him. I'd love to see him do well. I'd love to see him given a chance in the midfield, but he's got to go out there and earn it. Nobody gives it to you, and fingers crossed. He can work it out.
A couple of good points in the chat box. Avon Teddington says, I think the turning point for Ainsley was the Sheffield United game. He turned his back and stopped his run short, and Flex scored, cost us 3 points. My memory of games is awful. Akash makes a good point. Hold on, there's Avon's one. Right, okay, so yes. Akash says, when I saw Torreira mark that 6'6" Olympiacos defender, I was crying. I think he was crying as well. Oh dear, what a player he was, though. He ain't going to be spending much more time in the Greek league. I think he got player of the season before that. Archie is asking, why is the Bellerin situation different to Holding? I'm not sure what that is, other than they both had a similar injury. I think that's what
they're both in recovery coming back, aren't they? And
maybe Holdings was. Stages. I think we were more needed to get a right back into the game. We saw when Bellerin first came back, it looked like he lost a bit of pace, and now he seems to be a bit quicker, but he's still not 100%, is he?
It's going to take him another 6 months. Yeah. It's next season.
Dom always says things like that. You don't get over that, if at all. If you do, it takes a while to get used to it.
Trust me, I've done it. Okay, and even getting back to normality can be tough. And when you look at high-end athletes, that's a different world altogether, because the slightest thing off balance and you're in trouble. So you just got to take our time. A lot of people are going to have to bet Hector recently, and I just don't get it. Yes, he's not been scintillating, but he's not really been bad.
Yeah.
And
he has been bad in the past. He's been terrible.
Yeah, but let's get straight. The rewriting of history. He's never been a defensive fullback, has he? He's always been an attacking fullback. Right?
We always want the attacking ones now.
Yeah, whilst Holding was out, apparently he was the new Maldini. And he come back and a couple of Europa League games. Yeah, great, but it's a longer process. You have to develop. We're talking about developing the kids. We've still got more seasoned professionals we need to develop properly. So, there's a whole host here of things that Arteta has to look at.
Winston makes a good point. He says he should not have said he doesn't want to play it right back. I think it was do you two think it was a snub by Arteta to bring Ainsley on with 2 minutes of the game to go in the last game? I thought that was
he's pushing buttons, isn't he?
Yeah. That you're going to get a reaction out of someone doing that. And what did he come on? I'm just looking here. He came on in the 91st minute for Reece Nelson.
Well, he got his match fee out of it, didn't he? He got paid.
Yeah, but I think Winston's right. You can't just go, I don't want to play it right back. Plenty of players have made careers out of not wanting to play where they wanted to play. You've got to play where you want to. And Data made a point.
Imagine Lauren when he came to Arsenal.
He was a right midfielder for Mallorca.
Yeah, I don't want to play right back. Imagine
didn't he play central for Cameroon?
Centre back?
No, I thought he played central midfield for Cameroon.
Probably played a few different positions for Cameroon, to be fair. Yeah. But he was never a right back till he come to ours. And again, like Torre as well. Torre wasn't a centre back when in anyone's force of imagination. But he made that position his own. He worked hard, he trained, and he made it his own. Yeah,
Gilberto was a centre back in Brazil.
Yeah, was he? It's all about grabbing your chances.
I thought he played DM for Brazil.
No, when he was in Brazil before we bought him, he was centre back. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Data makes a point. She says Maitland-Niles played centre midfield in Europa League and embarrassed, exposed himself, just not good enough.
Oh, look, that's a one-off game. You don't judge a career on a one-off game, especially not in an Unai Emery team, which was, quite frankly, embarrassment. So you've got to treat these guys fairly. You've got to treat them fairly, and a one-off game. If you're judging any player in a one-off game, well, I don't know what to say.
The Saint says Arsenal should bid for Cancelo at City, £50 million maybe. Is he a fullback? I don't know. I'm not good with other things like that. Loki makes a good point. Perez took ages to return because Perez, much like Overmars, they thought his career was over, didn't they, at one point? And then Wenger bought Overmars from Ajax, and they said that's why we got him for $7 million. And they said no, he's knackered. Came back, brilliant.
It's such when you do it, the pain that strikes through you. Okay, it's indescribable. And then when all of a sudden, you've got this joint, which is always, you've always been able to rely on. You've run about like a lunatic on for all those years. You've abused your body running through nonsense, playing rugby or football or whatever. And then all of a sudden, it don't work. There's no hole there. You can't trust the joint, okay? When that happens, your mind, even when after you've had the op, is it going to give way?
You're not trusting it. Is it a confidence thing, Jace? Or
for me, it was a confidence thing. Also, he stuffed the op, so that was a bit of a ball ache. But I never played rugby again. Never. I played a few football games. Every so often I play football on it, and now I've got no cartilage on my right knee. I even crossing the road, when you go just to take a couple of quick steps, the pain that goes through the whole body. There's no cartilage. There's nothing there.
And poor life, Jace. I've got 2 knees. I'm not even using perfect working order. Very low mileage.
Tomorrow.
Winston comes up with another good point. He says, not seen enough of Ainsley in midfield to see whether he would be any good there. That's how I feel.
This is the thing, okay, he's gone through the age grade and midfield, and he's done well. Okay, he's gone out on loan and done well there. We've had to use him as a right back, and he plays for the Arsenal. He'll play where we ask him to. But I'd like to see him given a go. I really would. I think.
Where would you like to see him given a go?
Central mid. I'd like to see him in a
Why
3.
Why do people think he's a central midfielder? Because when on reserves and when he was on loan out at Ipswich, he was a right midfielder.
I've seen some play for England and central mid.
Oh, of course, you said that. You said they won the World Cup. I didn't see any of that.
And he just looked accomplished, and with his pace and with his passing ability, I just think he could do a job there. I look at Willock. I think Willock, he's a fantastic prospect. I'm not sure what DM or anything. I truly see him as a B2B. Okay, but he's got to earn the right, doesn't he? He's got to earn the right. So wait and see.
Just looking at his time when he was at Ipswich, I mean, it's 15, 16, so probably not overly relevant now, but he started off the season playing either right midfield and a couple of games at left midfield for the first 13 games. And he played 1 in central midfield. And the next load, he played right midfield. And then he was not in the squad, not on the bench. I think that was maybe the message to Mick McCarthy. And then for the rest of the season, he had a couple of games at right midfield, and then he was either in or out of the team. So started off looking really well, and then things fell apart near the end. But the World Cup win, like you're saying, Jace, is more recent, so maybe that's best what we should judge him on. Where are we going to go now? Big Bunny Kane. God, there you go. Guendouzi is a cheap Rabiot. We used to call him Budget, or Chris used to call him Budget Rabiot, didn't we? He. Yes.
God love Chris.
Oh, here you go. Avon says Ainsley has always said he is a winger. So
this is the problem. He's not getting in ahead of Pepe and Reece Nelson, even though
no chance.
Reece can play either side. I know. He can
see what Loki put for you. How about the carpet burn days, Jace? Are they over? No, he doesn't do deliveries anymore. What are you on about? He's had to give that up.
Yeah. Tell me about it. But, cheers, Loki. But you look at those winger positions at the moment. I still see Martinelli as a centre forward. He's on the left. You got Saka as well. Okay, you can have Tierney coming back. Then you got Pepe and Nelson. You got Auba. Those are some stacked positions. And maybe he is a winger. Maybe that's his best position.
He's going to get sold. He's going to get sold in the summer, mate. That's what's going to happen to Maitland-Niles.
I hope
he'll be sold in the summer.
Okay.
But we don't have any League Cup games, Europa League games, group stages for him to try it out, has he? Well, they're all important league games now.
My prediction is he'll be sold in the summer to either a Championship side or a side in the bottom half of the Premiership, or a side that's just getting promoted.
You mean someone like a Derby, a Leeds, a West Brom, something like that?
Someone like that, yeah. That's where he's going. He's not going to make it out. He ain't happening.
Here's one from Michael Hernandez. Well, Van Nistelrooy started off as a goalkeeper, so maybe players should listen to their managers. They too. And Archie's Pepe was a keeper. I think he means Pele, but we know that.
Tony Adams was a centre forward.
Ashley Cole, as we all know, was a striker. Here we go. Yeah. A question. I don't want to read that first. Oh, here we go. I'm just going to make this a Thunder question. I always have to proofread these before we move on to it. What are your picks for going down? Gav, what do you reckon? Who's going to go down from the Premier League?
Hopefully West Ham.
After Norwich's fantastic win at the weekend. No, Watford's fantastic win at the weekend and Norwich's great win last night. Bottom of the league is Norwich, 21. Aston Villa, 25. Bournemouth, Watford, West Ham, 27. Brighton, 28. And then there's a 4-point gap. So I think we all agree that Norwich are doomed, do we?
You never know.
Points in relegation with 10 games to go.
What Norwich have is a player up front who scores goals. So that might be their saving grace. What I would really like is West Ham, Villa, and Bournemouth. I'd love West Ham to go down. Because Bournemouth, every time we play away at Bournemouth, they've got a shitty little ground which is completely disrespectful to our less able supporters. Like I say, for the Arsenal Disabled Supporters Association to recommend that fans did not travel to that game, it must be bad because they suffer with a lot, and they put clubs straight when there's something wrong. But for the ASDA to actually turn around and recommend people don't go to Bournemouth again, and they've got that shitty little ground with no fans. We're not no fans, but we've not enough fans in the ground. Every time we play away to them, it's in November or January. Right? I mean, if Bournemouth had a 60,000 ground, let 10,000 Arsenal go, and we played them every August, I would love them in the Premier League. Because that would be one fucking great weekend. But they don't. So Villa, West Ham, Bournemouth. I'd love to see them three just fuck off.
Apparently, Pepe was a goalkeeper, and he didn't mean Pele. Sorry, Archie. He said, "Wake up." I didn't know that. Did he? Were you?
No idea.
Who's going to go down, James?
Norwich, Villa. I'd like to see Watford go down because that really would be funny. Liverpool losing that game to the team who go down, and I don't like Watford. I just don't like them.
Plus, Bournemouth cheated their way to get back up into the Premier League. And when if Bournemouth do go down, they are in trouble with the Football League because the Football League doesn't run the Premier League. When they go down, they're in trouble. They're going to get a huge fine because they spent all their money on they spent too much money on wages to get promoted. Go and Google that because, as usual, I've probably got it partly wrong. Oh, look who's in the chat. It's bloody Chimp.
Hey, where did he jump on?
He's a huge fanny.
He's a great fanny.
He's one
I'd like
of
to
the
see Brighton go down because they're a fucking ball ache for us at the moment. And Villa, I'd like to see Villa go down. I'm not much of a fan of Villa.
Also, if Norwich do go down, you've got Cantwell and Aaron's at right back. Those two, they're a couple of really good players as well. So
Rice at West Ham.
Yeah, I'd like to see. I don't want Norwich to go down. I like Norwich. I want Bournemouth and Watford and West Ham to go down. No problem with West Ham fans. I just don't like the fact that their owners are using an Olympic stadium that everyone else is paying for, and it's a terrible.
I paid for that, Dan. I'm the only one of us three that paid for that. I had to pay for that. My council tax paid for that ground.
You get a free ticket for every game. Oh, bollocks.
Do I fuck, mate? But it did. Like I say, after the Olympics, it did take them 3 years to tidy up the local park.
And then seriously,
the local park near us was used for the army to stay in whilst the Olympics was on, and they left it in a right shit state. It took them about 3 or 4 years to tidy it up afterwards, and I paid for that as well. Did I get a free ticket for the Olympics? Did I fuck? I got to see the fucking flame go past at fucking 10 miles an hour. Fucking 10 deep where you couldn't park within a mile of the route, and it completely fucked the traffic up for the day. Anyway, fuck West Ham, fuck Villa, and fuck Bournemouth.
Well, there you go, people. That's that perfectly summed up. Well, what else are we going to cover? Should we have a little bit of a laugh about the current form of Liverpool and Spurs? 'Cause,
I'm watching the Dyer video here, actually.
Oh, is that one where is he gone into a crash for Spurs supporting kids and gone in and beaten all their kids up?
That's absolutely ridiculous what he's done there.
Yeah. Yeah. Talk people through it.
Because his brother was having a row, wasn't he, in the stands with someone.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Dyer saw what was going on and decided to run up there and join in. So basically what's happened is somebody, obviously one of the fans has given Dyer a bit of abuse, which you're likely to do if you've just got smashed out, if you've just got knocked out of the FA Cup by Norwich, right, at home, right? So, all the players are getting, as they say, pelters. And one of Dyer's family took offence to somebody slagging off Dyer. So an argument's going on.
He missed a penalty, didn't he?
No, he scored. He
scored the first one, didn't he?
He scored the first one, yeah. Oh, there, Tottenham's last penalty. Jesus, could he have hit that any worse? He might as well have just side-footed into the middle of the goal. Do you know what I mean? It was one of the worst penalties I've ever seen, but so funny.
Neil says imagine Dyer not getting a ban for that.
This is the thing.
He's got to get banned.
The briefing that came was straight away, and somebody put out there, he's gone to confront somebody who's being racist.
Yeah, Avon, but the penalty the FA should make Tottenham serve is to Dyer to play every game until the end of the season.
He is. I don't know. I'm not going to say too much now. Yeah, but no. Like if we say too much now, he'll score the winner against us in the NLD, won't he? It's just one of those. But he's got to have it's got to be at least a 5-game ban for that.
Well, some people here are saying Matt Roberts has put that they were possibly being racist abuse towards Fernandes, and so does the Saint. That rumour that racism was being shouted.
There was no racism at all.
I've not heard the audio.
It's his brother arguing with somebody. It's because they were Spurs fans.
I think his brother must have been sitting in the boxes behind, because I can't understand. He must have been in the boxes above that terrace, and you've obviously seen him pointing and having a go at somebody. Dyer's looked up and seen his brother looking in that situation and gone up there, and it's daft. It's absolute. It's so funny looking at it. Do you know what I mean? The funniest comment I saw, has he gone to find Lamella's penalty?
Did you see the heat map of him as well, where the heat map is all around the centre of circle and then it goes into the stands?
It's one of those. I mean, he's got to have at least a 5-game ban for that.
You can't. If you don't, then other people might do it.
Well, this is the thing,
it's not down to him to go and sort out trouble in the crowd. That's what you get trained professional.
But that's funny. If you celebrate a goal and you go too near the crowd, you get a yellow card.
Yeah.
Okay? He's gone in to confront the fan. You're not allowed to do that. Here
we go. We've got a question from Neil. He says, "What do you guys think? Keep Alba if he wants to sign, or raise some cash from a 30-year-old. I think if we don't get." Well, I think he wants Champions League football, does he? At 30, what's he got? 2-3 more seasons left in him, and he's not going to want to spend that kicking his heels in the Europa League, is he?
Yeah, but it depends. Is it that he's got a year left in his contract? Okay.
Yeah.
Raul said, we're going to sell him if that happens. Well, Raul, time to put your pants up, son, because you've talked a lot, you've delivered next to fuck all. So you've now got to do the do. So you're going to have to sell him unless he's going to sign a new contract. And, what's the offer going to be like? Because that's the big thing. Are we going to get value for money for him? If the right money came in for Aubameyang and Lacazette, I'd sell them both. Okay, but it'd have to be the right money. And you'd have to have the right replacement ready. This is now where all the club's planning comes into play.
I think Formula Knows has got it. I'd say begrudgingly sell him, which I think. Begrudgingly, yeah. I mean, a man of that, I mean, he's a goal machine. No matter where he's played, he's banged in the goals. And that kind of person is much. I mean, you look at Barcelona, they've had to go and get that bloke an emergency transfer, didn't they? And they're not even playing him. And you've seen, I made a point on Twitter. I said, how comes the world is going mad about Pepe, 72 million, not doing anything? And you've got who's the French lesbian who plays for Barcelona? What's his name?
Dembele.
No, one with the wanky hair. Even Chris wouldn't have hair like that.
Dembele or Griezmann.
Oh, that's it, Anton Griezmann. £120 million, and he has scored 8 goals in the Farmers League. Absolutely. He should have got about 40 goals this season. He's got fucking 8. 120 million, which they won't bloody do. They're just waiting for one of their training grounds to get sold and bought by the council again to pay off the bill.
I don't think Uber's going anywhere. I don't think Aubameyang's going anywhere.
If we lose him on a free, okay? If we lose him on a free, Raul has to go.
Yeah, that's throwing money away again. We can't do that anymore.
The biggest issue facing our club at the moment is not whether we sell Lacazette or Aubameyang. It's Raul Sanllehi. Raul Sanllehi is the biggest issue at our club at the moment. He's Ivan Gazidis 2.0. This guy's a bigger clown than Gazidis ever was, okay?
And that's saying something.
And you wait until we have to publish the agent's fees that we've been paying. Right now? I've got to be honest. This guy knows fuck all about football. Okay? He's a fucking idiot. And it's all he's doing.
People are agreeing. Archie says, Jason, 100%. Michael Hernandez, totally agree. Jace, people stop this. Go on, Jace.
Yeah, well, I'm always right. But, you look at this now, okay? When we start publishing how much we're paying agents, then everybody's going to be it's going to be like Meerkat Mansion, then, isn't it? Oh, what's all this? All this bollocks in the summer about Don Raul. Okay, fucking Cedric Suarez. Is he still injured? Do you know what I mean?
It's so funny that we bought another injured player.
Don't get me fucking started, okay? Look, we have to get some tied-up thinking about the squad and the way we're going to take it forward. It doesn't matter who we sign at the moment, okay? It's just one of those where we have to look at, right, what's the long-term plan for this club? It's got to be Arteta's plan.
See what you've done, Trace. All your ranting in the Fannies group, Neil's put spot on Trace Raul is an utter fraud. He didn't used to think that. It's just constant bombardment.
I'll tell you what, okay?
Brainwashed him.
Exactly. I'm not Neil, you've been groomed. Okay? Not the bloody naughty type either, the proper type. But this is the thing, okay? It's got to be joined up thinking, right, how are we going to play the game over the next couple of years? What type of players do we need to achieve this, okay? What type of players are we going to get in? Where are we going to get value for money? We look at somebody like Ceballos. The talent is there. This kid is a talented player. But is he the money? Are you able to get him for the money that you need? So you want to pay for him. Combined with that, is he a bit one-dimensional for your needs? He's got a lovely passing range on him. But we've not seen hardly any of him this season. And the most of what we've seen from him has been bang average. But there's still a talented player there. We have to look at, the money we want to spend, the players we need. That midfield is, you've got to sort of get it right this summer. If we don't get it right this summer, forget about Champions League for another year. Because, we've got to do it properly. And if we're going to do it properly, that fucker Raul needs to be nowhere near anything.
Yeah, you can't. We've seen this too many times under the man whose name begins with W, who we won't mention. You can't sell your top scorer and expect to improve the following season. It's not going to happen. Like I said, we sold Henry, and then we sold Van Persie, and then we sold
Vieira.
Yeah, well, we sold Suarez. Or Sanchez, rather. Yeah. You can't, like I say, you can't keep repeating these same mistakes. Yeah, but personally, I think if any of the forward players are going to go this summer, it's going to be Lacazette. I think he's going to go. and I think he's going to pull Aubameyang back in the middle. Hopefully entice Aubameyang to sign, even if it's only a 1-year extension. Give him a few more quid, get him back. Get him in for another year, and see where we are at the end of the year. I mean, obviously, players have got it in their contracts that they do get more money and they do get bonuses for actually getting into the Champions League. Now, it's all well and good a player, especially one of our best players, saying he wants to leave to play Champions League football. Well, play better, mate, score more goals, and you would be. So, it's one of those. But I think Aubameyang, that saga this summer will go on and on. I fully expect Lacazette to go quite early in the transfer window. I think his time's gone. But like I say, Aubameyang, I think that's just going to drag on and drag on.
I think the big thing, you're right to what you're saying, okay? You can't afford to let those goals go. And Aubameyang's been a clutch player for us this season. We've been able to rely on him.
If he goes, right, we're left with Lacazette, who, like I say, I think will probably go as well. Then after that, we've got Martinelli and Eddie. And as much as I would love to see them two playing every minute of every Premiership game in 2 or 3 years' time, they're both not ready for that. 2 or 3 game every week, consistently banging the goals in. Then they're not both. Neither of them are ready for that right now. Yeah. So if we do get, I mean, like I say, I think Lacazette's going anyway. If we do then get rid of Aubameyang as well, we're not going to get a great deal for him because he's only got 1 year on his contract. And secondly, we've then got to replace him. And we're not talking about replacing anybody. We're talking about somebody who's got them. Since he started playing for Arsenal, he's got more Premier League goals than any other striker, than any other player in English football.
And he's not even playing as a main striker. Imagine what he could do if he'd have been every single one of those games up front on his own.
Well, exactly. I mean, again, that's a different conversation to whether or not he is actually better off coming in off the left, or is he better off up front on his own. I often worry about his ability to hold the ball up and to bring other players into the game when he's up front on his own. But you've then got the issue, look, who are we going to be able to buy? I mean, we're not going to be able to buy Aguero. We're not going to be able to buy Harry Kane.
How about that Argentinian Gav? The one who's at Juventus at the moment.
You know what I'm saying. You've got, like I say, if you get rid of Aubameyang and we get even 20, 30, 40 million for him, right? We're not going to be able to replace him like for like for anything under 80, 90 million. So it would basically almost mean using the whole of our summer transfer budget to replace somebody. Whereas you're better off just giving him a huge payment, giving him a huge bit of more cash and getting him to sign a year extension. Anyway, I'm going to shut up now because I need another beer.
His wine.
Neil makes another point. He says, Arteta has a real plan, and whoever he wants, I'm on board with, to be honest. The recruitment previously has just been no plan. I think Alba will sign and stay, and as Gav says, you can't sell goals.
And they're both right there, okay? We need joined-up thinking for the whole squad, okay? But those goals that Alba's, piled in with, I feel for Lacazette. I do feel for him. But your job's to score goals, fella, and you butchered some proper opportunities this season. I look at Martinelli, Nketiah, he costs us nothing. Do you know what I mean? And if he can be a fox in the box, somebody to maybe just a super sub, maybe just somebody, he's going to grab your game a goal and you really need it. Fantastic.
Matt Roberts asked a bit here, Jace. Could that mean players like Smith Rowe and Eddie will be asked to step up more if Alba leave in the summer? Look, we're going to go for another maybe 5 minutes. I think we just need to quickly answer that. And then we need to cover the Torreira thing is going to be out for a couple of months. Yeah. And then do the gentleman's nods at the end. So what do you think to that? Them stepping up?
I think everybody has to step up. I think, if you look at the Olympiacos game as the prime example, we saw some gutless performances from seasoned pros, and it was pathetic. It's very hard to ask the likes of Saka, Willock, etc. to carry this team. They haven't got the experience. They haven't got the minutes under the belt. Okay, so, we need to sort of just take our time with them. We need to develop them properly. But never mind ESR and the rest of them stepping up. Lacazette needs to step up, okay? Mesut Ozil needs to step up. Ceballos, Xhaka, Pepe, these guys need to step up at this moment in time. And if we can get more goals, you only need... If you can get 4 extra goals from each wing, 4 more, there's another 8 goals. Do you know what I mean? If you can get 4 or 5 goals from the 10 position, all of a sudden you start seeing a different makeup to this team. You start painting a different picture. But, goals from midfield, they just dried up. You've got to get more goals from the wings. You've got to get more goals from 10. I know it sounds obvious, but it's got to happen. But do
you think we should shoot more?
I think we need different personnel in midfield. And
it's a sentiment. Like I say, I think with the players that we've got in the squad at the moment, if we only lose Lacazette in the summer, I'm quite happy and quite confident with what we've already got at the club. The main and the defence again. Once Holding's back, we've got that young French lad coming over in the for next season as well. I think the defence will sort itself out. The money this summer has got to go more or less with a complete rebuild of our midfield. A complete and utter rebuild. It wouldn't even bother me to see 3 new faces in there. But that's where the money's got to go. We need a box-to-box who can score a few goals whilst deciding what's going to happen with Willock and Smith Rowe. We need a defensive midfielder and... Yeah, we need probably another box-to-box as well. So that's where the money's got to go in the summer. The money's got to go on the central midfield. Everywhere else, I'm quite happy. Fees. Well, it's going to go on there, isn't it, Dan? It's going to go on there.
We're in bed with some of it will do more than we've done before. But we've been left out far too much in the past, weren't we? Right. We've got a bit on that, Jace, and then after that, Jace, we need to talk about Torreira for the last couple of minutes.
The big thing we need is mobility in midfield, okay? Ceballos isn't the answer for me, okay? Then go back to leave somebody else spend their money on him because he's going to win.
Grealish at Villa?
Grealish, he's going to United, isn't he? As far as I'm aware.
He's got Spurs or United written all over him, isn't he?
That's wanky hair. No, he'll go for big money, okay? I don't think he can afford him.
He has said he loves playing at Arsenal.
Oh, look, he
loves the ground. He loves the Arsenal.
He's a lovely player. He could be the answer. I just think we're going to go priced, okay? I think you're going to be looking more at that French league or more at an unknown coming through. We're going to have to take a punt, right? And, I just look at it. I like Xhaka. I don't think Xhaka's deserved a 10th the stick he's had this season. But I don't think he's the answer for us either going forward. But you're going to have to replace him with a more mobile ball player. We talk about B2Bs and defensive midfielders. We need a couple of B2Bs, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree there.
And we need to coach them. And if they're not defensively aware, coach it into them.
We need, like I say, we need a B2B who, as you said earlier, is going to get like the 5 to 10 goals a season.
Yeah.
We need somebody like that. That's what we're badly missing. I mean, all of our assists are generally coming from wide positions anyway.
Yeah.
So it's the box to box who, I mean, dare I say it, we need somebody like bloody Gerrard, Lampard. Like I say, I would take Grealish. I'd even be tempted to have a look at that young blonde kid with the long hair at Norwich.
Oh, he looks a player, but the thing is, okay, when you talk about our team at the moment, I think Laka really misses that player coming from central deep. Do you know what I mean? He likes playing off somebody coming up the channel.
Yeah.
There.
Well, he's never gonna get that with Ozil. Ozil's not going to run past him at the moment.
Yeah, Ozil's far more lateral, okay? And, you know, I think we need to... I think, you know, you look at Maitland-Niles, I think he's got all the tools in the box to be able to do that kind of role. Whether he's got the right frame of mind for it, I don't know. You know,
no, he's going.
Well, maybe he is, okay? But even if he's going, we're going to have to bring in a couple of players in midfield, in my opinion.
Oh, definitely. All the big money should go there. All the big money should go there this summer.
And, you know, I don't think Arteta fancies Torreira. You know, I know we're going to get onto him soon. So I think you could see 2 out and 2 or 3 coming in. But let's wait and see.
Well, you look at our first team squad at the moment, and everybody who's played a game this season. Total goals for Arsenal: Aubameyang 61, Ozil 44, Lacazette 44, Xhaka 11, Martinelli 10, and everyone else below 10. So we've only got 3 players that have scored more than 11 goals in their career at Arsenal. And that's why, I mean, it's something simple like Xhaka. His first season, 4 goals, 3, 4. This season, 0. He always had a couple of screamers from midfield with him.
But he's been playing a lot deeper this year.
I'm not saying he's the problem, but I'm saying where you need, like Jace was saying, we need goals from players all over the pitch. And if you can't have them all over the pitch, you do need a Gerrard, a Lampard, a David Platt, someone like that who's going to play in midfield and is going to be a goal threat. And we don't have any of it. In fact, we've got too many.
But not being funny. We allowed you to walk out the fucking door for nothing in the summer.
Yeah, but when we've got a midfield 3 of Torreira, Xhaka, and Guendouzi, there's not a goal between them.
Yeah, well, you know, not being funny, Kato. You know, you look. It's pointless. What we did in last summer was tantamount to suicide. You know, and it's an absolute joke that twat Raul has still got a job. It's an absolute joke that anybody listened to him saying, "Oh, let's give Emery a 3-year contract." This all you had to do was look at the football being played. It was fucking embarrassing. He lost the dressing room last season. And then to let players go, you know, your only goal-scoring threat from midfield? Oh, it's fucking bright, isn't it? Well done. Let's give you a gold star, you massive twat. Do you know what I mean?
I'm really starting to get worried about your blood pressure right now, Joe.
I'm not being funny, okay? We've had a fall of this shit for too long now, okay, Redo? And the fucking lunacy I've seen. You know, you saw experienced professionals, Darren Burgess going, Sven Mislintat going. You know, do you know what I mean? You can't allow to let quality people walk out of your club like that because you want to be Billy Big Bollocks at the club. Well, let's get something straight, Don fucking Raul. You're a fucking fraud and you need to fuck off.
If he doesn't like it, he can come on here and fight his corner.
If he doesn't like it, he can come here and fight his corner.
I'm in tears.
It gets my goat.
Are we going to be all right without Torreira? Does it just mean it's going to be Xhaka, Ceballos, and one other in midfield for the rest of the season? Will that get us top 5? I think that's what people need to know.
Well, it's
with everyone else not wanting to win.
Well, you're gonna say really that it puts Guendouzi on the pitch a lot more, and what Guendouzi gives you, which no other player gives you a great deal. He gives you the shithousing, and I'm a big fan of shithousing. You know, he's going to wind opposition players up. He's going to be booed by opposition fans. He's going to slow games down, all sorts. He's going to play well in some stages as well. But again, he's one of those where Arteta has been planning just right. Arteta's been pulling him in, pulling him off, pulling him out. That sounds rude, sorry. But you know, Arteta's not been playing him week in, week out, which is, if you look at it, Saka aside, he's been doing that a lot with the younger players. And I think that was really what his game plan was. He doesn't really want to play him twice a week. But like I say, I think that it really is going to be down to Guendouzi to step up. And as I said in the last pod, after the Pompey game, I think the way that Guendouzi handled himself after being booked was exemplary. I think Arteta will look at that and say, you know, he's improved there, he's matured there, because in any other game, and like I say, you know, obviously it's a fucking completely stupid thing to get booked for by the ref. The ref was a fucking idiot. But the way Guendouzi handled himself afterwards by not even putting himself in a position where he's going to get another yellow.
A year ago, he'd have done that, wouldn't he?
Oh, yeah, a year ago.
Trouble.
I mean, yeah, like I say, a year ago, Arteta would have had to have took him off by the 60th minute just to stop him getting booked again and us going down to 10 men. But I thought he was very, very mature in how he handled the rest of the game after that, which bodes well because we haven't got too many options, have we? Let's be honest.
The big look, you're looking at Torreira at the moment. He's out, tough. Okay, we can't do anything about it. But you look at. I thought Arteta played very well when Torreira was playing very well when Arteta did select him. Okay, he is too lightweight in my opinion. Okay, he hasn't got that Kante engine to get him around the park, which I think you need in the Premier League if you're that size. But you look at what Arteta's doing at the moment. When he was playing Torreira, he had an issue with creating goals, with scoring goals, okay? Again, over-reliance on Aubameyang, okay? So that's why he's pulled in Ceballos into the midfield. He's got to get the ball moving quicker. Torreira doesn't give you that. So I think it's very uncomfortable for us not having Torreira now for the next couple of months. It's a ball ache we don't need. But I don't think he was going to be a first-team choice at any time.
No, but I mean,
when you're looking at, the point here is, you're looking at Guendouzi. Oh, great, he gives a shit, Ozil. He doesn't give you fuck all going forward. He gives you even less going backwards. And I agree with you. He did play very well second half, and he kept his head really well against Portsmouth.
The thing is though, Jace, right? If we're one up going into the last 10 minutes, right? Which player in our entire squad would you bring on to add another body in the midfield? It was always Torreira, right? Now, Now who is it? I mean, we're going to miss him because we've got nobody who's going to show up the game with 10 minutes to go.
I agree with you, but
nobody in the entire squad.
But I look at Willock. We want to be. Arteta wants to play possession-based football. So, I do admire Guendouzi in a lot of ways, okay? I just look at what he offers you. And the same with Torreira. And I don't think it's right for what Arteta wants. I look at Willock. Now, if Willock's driving the ball, eating up minutes, he's got a way to develop yet. He's nowhere near as far down the line as the other guys. Jace,
but answer the question, mate. There's 10 minutes to go. We're winning 1-0 away at White Hart Lane, right? Who in our team would you like to bring on to shore up the midfield? Obviously, the first choice would be Torreira. We've got no Torreira now. Who are you going to bring on?
I'd bring on a centre half, okay, and I'd pop Luiz into DM because he can play the ball, he can hold the ball, and more to the point, if they're pressing on you, that boy's got a long ball, which it's a killer at times, right? But then you need pace on the wings, and you need to be able to utilize that. So I know it's not perfect. It is where we are. I'm gutted for Torreira because, to be fair to this guy, him and Guendouzi, you can't fault their application and the fact, yes, they make silly mistakes at times, but they're always brave. They always show.
You've got, like I say, people have still got to remember that Guendouzi, not too long ago, right, wasn't even getting a game in the fucking second division in France. Right now,
doesn't make him any good. Look, I've got to be honest.
You've still got to remember, Jace. He's a very, very young player who's still maturing and still learning the game, and he's playing in a very, very hard position to learn.
Yeah, but Gav, the attributes you need to succeed at that position, okay? So whether you're defensively astute, right, or you've got you've got a great engine when B to B, he's got no pace. He's one-dimensional, okay, in his athleticism. Going forward, he offers you very little. He can't speed the game up. These are things, okay. He was a bargain price, okay, and we'd make money on him whenever we sell him at the moment, But is he the answer going forward? Not for me.
Well, no, like I say, he's a young player still learning his trade and still learning the position, right? We've had players in their mid-20s come over to us, right, who are seasoned professionals and been playing in top leagues for top clubs and not settled in as well as he has. So you've still got to give him, like I say, again, this season is a season too early for him. Like it is for a lot of our young players. But he's doing a job.
He's not, though, is he? Because no offense.
Yes, he is.
We're 10th, are we? Are we 10th? Yeah, we're 10th in the league. Yeah,
we're 5 points off.
He's played the majority of the season in this team, and no offense, the game against Villa, he was magnificent. Against Spurs, he was outstanding. But other than that, there's been an awful lot.
That's what you get with young players, though, Jace. What you get with young players, and this is why Arteta's doing such a great job at the moment, because Arteta's pulling him in and pulling them out. He's not playing them twice a week. Guendouzi needs that. He needs to be pulled in and pulled out.
He needs to be sold, mate. He's not good enough for the Arsenal team. He's not good enough.
If his name was fucking Jones, you'd love him.
No, he just hasn't got the attributes.
If it was Gwen Jonesy,
he hasn't got the attributes to make it a good club. You look at Willock, you see something on the ball going forward. Okay, you look at sort of other players. They've all got something about them. There's key skills where I can make the most of that. If shithousery is his key skill, he's kind of fucked, isn't he?
He's more than that, though, Jace. Come on, mate.
I don't think he is. I just don't. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I think you both got certain points, but when you look at the fact that this season, I think I just looked up, Torreira has played 24 Premier League games, and of those 24 games, 16 of those games he either come on or came off as a sub. So I don't think he's got much of a future. Although in most of the games where he's played 90 minutes were just before Emery left. He had a run where I think he played 6 out of 7 games. He played the full 90 minutes in the Premier League since then. But he's had knocks and come back and forth from those, hasn't he? Right, we've been going for an hour and 3/4, which is 3/4 now.
Way too long, isn't it?
Yeah. So I just want to say we missed out the thanks for the last few live shows. So thanks to J. Rob Petito, Sam Roof, Michael Harniman, Colo's Used Cars, mention ABW, get a 0% family discount, Ed Loud, Alonso Spencer, J. Rob, Michael Harniman, Mark Davies, Michael Hernandez, J. Rob, Ed Loud, and Peter Ackers. Thank you very much for all of your donations. They will be spent very badly on stuff that none of us need. I'm spending mine on dwarf strippers. Well, actually, my mum's 4 foot 10 is going to get her to come round with a hula skirt on. I didn't think that through. That sounded very wrong indeed. Right, Jace, thank you very much for joining us tonight. And who's on the show on Saturday?
It's me and you at the moment, pal.
Oh, shit.
I know.
So we've got 400 people now, ABW. We can only get 2 of us.
I can't do Saturday nights, mate. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to be too busy. I'm going to be too busy watching The Greatest Dancer and The Voice and eating a big fat Ruby Murray.
Oh, don't.
You've changed your carriers recently as well, haven't you?
What's that?
You changed your carriers recently as well, didn't you?
I've gone back to the original one, Joe. It didn't last long. I can't help it, mate. The local place, which it just, like I say, I've eaten in a lot of very, very nice curry houses over the years, and when we lived in Hoxton, we'd go up to Brick Lane for a curry, or we'd get a takeaway from various curry houses on Brick Lane delivered to us and stuff like that.
All right, Deliveroo, get on with it.
But I've got to say, my local curry house is probably the best curry house that I've ever been in.
Nicky Wilson said he's free.
Yeah, so it's you and Nicky Wilson then. I'm going to be watching Wales England.
I'm a Chicken Madras fan, but the local one, the only one in Gotti, recently got a 1-star. I mean, if you wipe your ass with your hands and then go and cook dinner, you get more than 1 star around this area. So fuck no, they're probably kicking it around on the floor. Disgraceful.
You've just got to accept it. If you found a decent curry house, but 1 in 4 or 5 times you get the shits afterwards, you've just got to say, right, look, you've just got to stick with it. You've just got to play roulette, mate. Just play roulette. Stick with it.
Well, on those Let's be having new words from Gav about fine dining. So this Saturday, it looks like it's. It looks like I'll have to get out of bed. It's going to be Nicky Wilson, the Twitch superstar. There was 2,500 people watching Nick Wilson live today. There was 9. Oh, I was one of them, which is pretty good. So people should go onto Twitch and look for Nick Fights. I think that's Nick or Nik. It's probably Nick Fights. Go on there, go and find him, and give a fellow Gooner a little bit of support and wind him up. But he can only be on when Ellis isn't using the Norwich internet, because you can't have 2 people on the internet at once. It doesn't work. Any final words of wisdom from either of you two?
Are we giving gentlemen's nods?
We're going to give gentlemen's nods. You can see why Jason has done this before. Jason, who would you like to nod? Let me guess, you've got about a dozen people, followed by an interesting story of when you were 12.
Kind of, yeah. I tell you what, actually, it's Ray Fox at Ray G Fox. He's just top man. There you go. It's Ray.
Gav, have you got
and
anyone?
Mark J Fine as well.
Mark J Fine. Every time Mark Fine does a run, he listens to us and tells us the speed and the time. And in fact, we're going to read it out. We're going to go and find his thing. There you go, Mark Fine. Treadmill, 59 minutes, 6 miles, 6 miles an hour, 0 degrees elevation. He's getting too old for this. 751 calories whilst listening to Portsmouth 0 Arsenal 2. And he's put getting the endurance up gradually. There you go. It's not easy, is it, Mark? As Chris has recently found out. Gav, who do you want to say hello to?
Can I just tell a little story?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Go on, I'll get comfy.
No, seriously, I'll do it as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Okay, right. No, so when I was growing up and we first started going to the local pub on our estate, there was a fella in there who used to play for West Ham, a fella called John Charles. And he's sort of like, in the pool room, he'll be the first getting the killer game going on the pool room, and a little bit of jiggery pokery. But he always sort of kept an eye out for us lads. One of my mates actually was his next door neighbour, so we all sort of got on and all had a laugh and a joke. Anyway, I found out today he was the first black player to represent England at any level. He was a youth player for England in the 1960s. The gentleman passed away in 2002, which is very sad. But like I said, it's just a shame he's not really getting when they talk about the first black players to play for, in the Premiership and first black players to play for England, he doesn't get any of the sort of credit that he deserves. I think he played 146 games for West Ham. I tweeted today a picture of him fighting for the ball with Frank McClintock at Highbury, which I thought was a lovely picture. But today really I've just been sort of thinking about him. He was just one of he was the face of the pub, if you know what I mean. He was a lovely gentleman, always laughing, always supplying the jokes, always getting the killer going and getting us young boys involved with the other lads inside the pub. So like I say, it would just be nice if one day the FA would recognise him really for being, like I say, the first black player to play for England at any level.
There you go. What a nice way to end the show. And that's it. I think my gentleman's nod is going to go to Glenn, who is at Glenn DITM. That's double N in there somewhere. He had planned to come on the show and do it yesterday because he was free, but then my computer went wonky. And I messaged him earlier to say we're doing one tonight. Can you make it? And he hasn't got back to me. So when he listens to the show, he's going to be kicking himself because he's probably sat around all day,
waiting, pining for you. Then pining for your words, whispering in his ear hole.
I wouldn't be, moaning about the TV series Viking. That's what we've been moaning about. He's a fan of the series Viking as well, right? People,
how can you moaning about that? Tell me afterwards. I love that series. Tell me afterwards.
No one gives a fuck about Russia. That's got nothing to do with Vikings. So, and all the best characters have been killed off, and I've not seen whether Floki is back yet. Just ruined it. But they always do that, don't they? I've got 2 episodes.
Yeah, I love Floki.
Yes, right. Thank you very much for your time, Jace and Gav.
Apologies, but we still love you.
Thank you to everybody who joined us for this unplanned live show. Now that we're no longer in Le Wafergep, as Arsene Wenger is calling it, we will probably be doing shows on Thursdays now. Unless we're playing on a Friday, then it'll be on a Wednesday. So we'll have back-to-back shows. But Thursdays seem to be a good day for a lot of people. So, might go back to like the old days. We did them on a Thursday because we played Champions League on a Tuesday and a Wednesday. Great days, Gav. Great days, Jace. Right, say goodbye to the boys and girls at home.
Take care, all. Good to see you.
Yeah, nice one. Sorry for Thunder Road to actually have to hear my voice again. Chin up, mate. I won't. I promise you, I won't be on for at least another 2
days.
He loves a good shoulders thunder. I love these people.
Proper roasted me the other day, didn't he? Do you know what I mean? Oh, fuck Gabs on, I might turn it off. Do you know what I mean?
Not
Cheers,
the first
mate.
time you've been roasted, is it, pal?
Oh.
Switch this